It's part two of 2025. Here we go, part two. That was a lot of information I gave you in part one, and I wanted to kind of divide it up because it's a lot going on. So, kind of to go back to the beginning of the 2025, the most challenging months truly are going to be January, February, and March. And that is primarily because of Mars retrograde and some little Jupiter retrograde in Gemini and Saturn are going to be putting their little fingers in the mix. And I will say, this could not only lead to unrest for ourselves personally, but globally, particularly in England, the US, European countries. And we can expect, we're already seeing it, large scale demonstrations. That's Pluto in Aquarius. There has never been a time in our history when Pluto has transited Aquarius where we've not had a revolution. The last time was the American and the French Revolution. The time before that was the Reformation. I mean, there's been some kind, and it's not always been a blood-filled coup revolution. Sometimes it's bloodless, but there's been some kind of social revolution every time we've had Pluto in Aquarius. But this year, at the beginning, we do have a lot of political strife. We know that, and conflicts. Some of it, much of it, rooted in religious differences. That's all about all the planets that are happening right now. And these trends have already begun, and they're going to continue through the beginning of 2025. And military, conflicts and things may reach some critical phase. And so and I could talk about every single aspect. It would take me like 4 years to do it, but make sure that you get from me. If you don't receive it somehow, request my PDF of the dates for 2025. I've worked really hard on it, and it's very complete, and it has all the eclipses and the retrogrades and all of that good stuff. So it's really extremely important, especially as it applies to your ruling planet, because the ruling planet, don't forget this, the ruling planet determines when and how things happen to you. So if you want to know what's happening, like if you want to know, like, is my seventh house doing well? My relationship house, that is determined by your rising sign. Now, also read your sun sign because that determines how am I processing things internally and spiritually inside. So you put the two together. But I will say, if you want to know when and how things are happening, rising sign is what you need to read. Now in January, I do want to point this out. Please get that list of dates because there are several of these and they're critical. This is a theme that we've been having. Mars, because Mars has been in Leo right now, and it's retrograde. It's opposing Pluto, which is in Aquarius. Those are opposite signs. When you have an opposition, there aren't any winners. It's just like two sumo wrestlers going at each other till the death. I mean, it's like it's a death match, right? So when you have these Mars opposition Plutos, it's power struggles, issues with communication. Just to let you know, the last time we had this exact aspect was on election day. So that kind of gives you a sense of the energy of this Mars opposing Pluto. I'm not an astrologer that wants you to hide under the covers whenever there's a difficult transit. But I gotta say, when you see Mars opposing Pluto in your calendar, those are days I just would not have, I would not engage in any fights. No one's going to win. There are no winners. That's why we use astrology. Save it for a better day. On January 11th, the nodes are changing. The North Node is entering Pisces. South Node in Virgo. That's a whole new flavor. And then we have a wonderful full moon in Cancer on January 13th. It's very powerful. It's the first full moon of the year in Cancer, and it's at 0 degrees. And for those of you who follow me, you know the word anaretic, Anaretic. That means the most potent, powerful point. And in every sign, in every transit, there are two really powerful points, 0 to 1 degrees and 28 to 29 degrees. That's the beginning and the end. It's almost like when you strike a match, where's the most power? Where's the most energy? At that strike. And then the fire burns, right? It's great. But it's that strike where the energy is. Because this full moon is at 0 degrees, it's like at the strike of the match. And so it's fabulous time to let go, to release. And that's what we all need to be doing. Another really important date to really note here is Uranus is going to finally station direct. It's been retrograde in Taurus, and it's going to station direct on January 30th. So that's fantastic. We love this. Now I'm going to get into February here really fast. I'm going to just do a little bit on each month. With February, forget Valentine's Day. February 1st is probably the best day for love out of the whole entire year. We have Venus, which is all about the love, is conjoining Neptune in the North Node. And that's just, it's like, if you need to pop the question, if you need to move in together, if you need to anything love related, February 1st is like, has bright, shiny, sparkly, wonderful love energy all about it. Now, Jupiter is going to station direct on February 4th. So Geminis are going to be thrilled about that. And so will Cancers, because that means that Jupiter's on its way. Jupiter is the good luck. He's Santa Claus. He expands everything he touches. And so the only drawback of having Jupiter in your first house, when you have Jupiter in your first house, it's great. You have all this good fortune. Things are happening for you. But because it expands everything it touches, just be careful of your diet because you might physically expand. That happens in your sixth house as well. If you're either going to get disciplined or you're going to like whatever. Anyway, let's continue here. So anyway, we also have Mars stationing director. I've been talking about it and I've got it circled in my calendar, like in big red letters because it's Mars. Mars stations direct on February 23rd. Fantastic. It's wonderful. Now, from mid-March to June, we're all going to be having a period of realization and stabilizing will reemerge. Politicians and society, they're going to start to recognize. I think what's going to happen at the beginning globally, the leaders that we have, either superficially or for real, are going to recognize the need for change. And the second half of the year is going to be more favorable, but the changes aren't going to happen overnight. So keep that in mind. From March 1st to April 12th, we have Venus retrograde. So if you're a Leo, or if you're a Taurus rising or sun, Libra is Venus is your ruling planet. It's especially powerful for you. And if you're an Aries or a Pisces, this is important for you because it starts retrograde in Aries and then goes back into Pisces. When Venus is retrograde, the standard line is don't change anything having to do with your aesthetic. Like, if you have long hair, don't go for the short do. Don't turn your hair purple. Don't redo your house. Don't get plastic surgery. Try not to get any kind of surgery during this period because you're going to regret it. But the good parts of Venus retrograde is it's a time to revisit your self-esteem and self-love, and to really, when you really kind of fill up your own cup during this time, it's going to translate into your income and your bottom line and what you own. So like I said, during a Venus retrograde, don't change your style or interior design. You'll regret it. But the good points are, and also don't make any impulsive financial and relationship decisions. Like when Venus is retrograde, that's romance. So wait till after Venus retrogrades ends before you break up or get married. Oh, and that's another thing. Don't get married during Venus retrograde. Sorry if you have your wedding date scheduled on that day, but that's not a good time to get married. Anything having to do that, just wait till it moves forward. That's April 12th is when it moves forward, and that's wonderful. Now, March is going to be a little mucky. We got some stuff happening. March 14th, we have a total full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo. Now, it's the second eclipse in Virgo that we had because last year the North and South nodes tottered just slightly. So we had a little sample eclipse in Virgo in the fall. And so if you're a Virgo rising or a Virgo, you felt that. You kind of felt like, what's going on here? Maybe some stuff started to happen in your life that wasn't so pleasant, some kind of a change. Now, this is a positive lunar eclipse. It is very positive. There are no negative aspects. We just have the sun sextile Uranus along with that. So because of that planetary aspect along with the eclipse really is going to encourage discussions, restructuring systems, perhaps, maybe doing some investigative work, especially anything having to do with health and communication. It might be a, a good time to start having important discussions with someone, romantic, platonic, business relationships, restructuring some things. Just a heads up about eclipses. During eclipse season, I don't hide under the bed, but I don't schedule anything important during eclipses because the eclipse season is the universe's time. We have free will. That's the thing. We have the free will. But when the eclipses come up, if the universe keeps sending you signs and is telling your gut, you got to make this change, you got to do this, you got to do it, you got to do it, and it keeps sending you signs and you keep ignoring it, the eclipse is the time when the universe goes, all right, get out of the driver's seat, chick. I'm driving now, and may force something on us. We may have something eclipsed out of our life. We may have something eclipsed into our life. Whatever comes in or goes out, wish it well, say goodbye with love. Know it's for your greater good. However, I do want to say the March 14 eclipse is a positive one. I don't anticipate anything horrible. I do want to say, even if it's the best eclipse in the world, we're going to feel anxiety. We're all going to feel a little jittery because it's a full moon on steroids. And we all know how we feel with full moons, right? Now, this is the other news. Mercury's going to go retrograde. It's going to station retrograde in Aries on March 15th, the day after the eclipse. Oy vey. Now we're going to have kind of a repeat, sort of what we had last year. Remember April, how April was just sort of like a cluster F of emotions? Well, March is going to be a little similar to that. So we have that all the way until April 7th. We have Mercury retrograde in Aries, and then it's going to go back into Pisces. So just, the retrograde rules for Mercury. Don't sign contracts. Again, I probably wouldn't get married. I wouldn't move. I wouldn't change jobs. I wouldn't make any major changes. Communication is going to go kerflooey. So just understand that. And then on March 20th, the sun enters Aries. And the next day we have the solstice, the spring equinox. And it's going to occur on Thursday, March 20th, Eastern Standard Time at 5:01 a.m. And this marks the beginning of spring in the northern hemisphere and autumn in the southern hemisphere. There's always an element of surprise, especially for Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorns, for our cardinal signs. And on the same day, we have a lovely Venus sextile Pluto. And so I'm going to end this video just kind of with a little bit about how the spring equinox is going to affect you. For Aries, this is really going to spark your creativity. Journal, go on a date, be playful. All that fifth house energy is very important for you. Taurus, add some color to your home. Family is going to be very important for you. It's going to be in your home and family. So you might want to stay home, schedule family game nights, try to get your family around you. It's going to really feed your soul. And jot down any creative ideas that you may have because there's a little spark of creativity for you. Gemini, create a vision board. You really have a really huge chance for like expanding your social circle. You're going to feel like a social butterfly. Brainstorm with your friends, people that you know that when you get with them, you get really great ideas. Invite them over and have a brainstorming session if there are any issues. For Cancer, start thinking about your money, like really start to research your finances, collaborate with your business colleagues, and write down to manifest your dreams and your goals. It's very important. For Leos, you're going to love it. Pursue leadership positions, and start to work on your personal development. There's there are a lot of books and things on personal development, but there's rekindle those passions in your relationships. So for you, it's all in your first and seventh house. Don't hold back, be inspirational, be the best you can be. Start taking your life really, if you haven't been, if you've been kind of like laying back a little bit, this is the time for you to really succeed because, you've been a little more behind the scenes in the past couple years than you usually are. So now's the time for you to step into your spotlight, which is wonderful for Leos. Now with Virgos, spirituality and meditation, sharing your dreams with your loved ones and really creating memories with your family is very important. Libra, going out with friends, making to-do lists, and then sticking with them and improving your technical skills. Those are very important for you as you go to the spring equinox. And then for our Scorpios, following your career vision, because you by this point you've probably worked through what you want to do and manifest. So your career vision is very important. And also not only open yourself up to romance, but start to pursue it. Don't expect it to fall into your lap. You have to actually take steps. You can't just sit there and say, I manifest a relationship. No, you have to actually go out there and meet people and get on those dating sites or whatever you want to do. Get out there, but also sixth house, rest and recharge yourself physically and mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Sagittarians, take classes. It's all about learning new cultures and start to plan your summer vacation and make it epic this year. I want to challenge Sagittarians to make your summer vacation the best vacation of your life. Capricorns, de-stress, baby. De-stress. You've had it humped. It's been on you, on you, on you. So book a spa day, collaborate, be creative professionally and in relationships. And also, if you're in a new relationship or in an old relationship, invest in your romance. Instead of just like going day to day, if you've been married for 30 years and you're just going the same old, do something crazy, do something fun. Aquarius, open your heart to love. You had your heart hurt. Open up to love now. And you know what? And Aquarius loves this. Meet new people, new pals, go out with people, and change your fitness routines a little bit. You know, you may have been too regimented or not regimented enough. Change it up. And then finally, Pisces, get a daily routine. If you're, a lot of fish are out there just sort of meandering. However, that's a misconception. I will say there are a lot of very organized Pisces out there, but usually they're organized in their head. Develop an actual real life daily routine. All right, guys, plan some romance and even if it's a homey staycation, you can do it. And it's a time to feng shui the shadoobers out of your life. Declutter, declutter. That's what you need to do. And then I want to say that we have the solar eclipse. I'm going to end part 2 with the solar eclipse on March 27th. Venus is going to be retrograde entering Pisces also on the 27th. The solar eclipse is on the 29th. I apologize. So just before that, Venus retrograde is going to go into Pisces. And then we have our final solar eclipse in Aries on the 29th. It's in the last tiny little degree of Aries going into Pisces. And what's beautiful about this, it's at 0 degrees. Mercury's leaving Aries. Mercury is conjoining Neptune, so there's nothing negative going on here. It's actually going to be kind of like a goodbye eclipse. Aries has had eclipses in its sign, and it's an old hat with that. And this is almost like graduation. It's going to be a smooth eclipse. Stressful, but smooth. So just know this is an actually very positive eclipse. We also have on the same day Mercury entering Pisces, a Mercury conjoining Neptune, Saturn sextile Uranus. What does that all mean? Good stuff. Conjunct and sextile, those are good words. So it's a very good, it's a feel good retrograde. I'm sorry, not retrograde, eclipse for you guys. It's wonderful. And it's going to be a nice sort of saying goodbye to the changes that you've been experiencing for the last 2 years. All right. So this is part 2. I'm going to have to do part 3 because I know this is long. All right, guys, see you on the other side.